This video is a part 2 follow-up sermon of a previous sermon I preached, which you can watch right here, called No One Knows When the World Will End. And this is a follow-up because in that video I asked if you wanted to learn how to practically live our lives because we don't know when Jesus is coming back. And one person, I think, who subscribed, called Lanessa, you wanted a follow-up. So this is for you. I hope that other people can benefit from this too. If you haven't listened to that sermon, No One Knows When the World Will End, basically you really need to. I'm not just promoting that video for views or for you to subscribe, but you really need to, because this one and that one give you a whole picture of what Jesus is teaching about the end of the world. And most practically, what we're talking about today specifically, is how to be ready for his return. So you can pause this video right now. I'm always going to be here. You can save this to your watch later, whatever you need to do. Please go and watch that sermon called No One Knows When the World Will End. Please watch that first. It should be linked right here. The card should pop up right here. If not, I'll link it in the description below as well if I remember to. Hopefully I do. Okay, assuming that you've watched that first sermon already, now we can talk about how to be a Christian man and woman of God who is always ready for the return of Jesus, and what being ready practically looks like in our every single day lives. All right. So our verse today is from Matthew 24:44. Therefore you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. For the Son of Man is coming at an hour that you do not expect. It should be abundantly clear to you now that there is not one person in this world, no pastor, no preacher, no prophet, no politician, that knows when the world is going to end, because even Jesus himself, the Son of God, doesn't even know when the actual dates of the end of the world are. And if that's not clear to you, please go and watch part 1 of this sermon series. That's not the last time I'm going to tell you. Now, though, let's talk about what Jesus means by therefore you also must be ready. What does that mean? Let's move over to the next chapter, from Matthew 24 to Matthew 25. Matthew 25, verse 14 to 15. Jesus gives a parable. It's called the parable of the talents. He says, "For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants to him and entrusted to them his property." Verse 15. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1 talent, to each according to his ability. Then the man went away. Jesus is the man in this parable. You and me, we are the servants in this parable that he has given various talents to. And sometimes people talk about talents, they talk about maybe something that you're skilled at or that you have expertise with. Sometimes people talk about actual money. That's not really the purpose of it. It's just a parable trying to describe a story. All right. So when you think of talents, you don't necessarily have to think about, okay, I'm good at soccer or I'm really great at public speaking. Those things don't matter. There's more important things at hand, because in verse 15, Jesus says that he gives us talents, each according to our ability, which means that whatever position you are in your life, okay, in your relationship status, for example, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, whether you're widowed, whether you're not considering any of those things, whatever status you are, or whatever status you are in your level of authority at work. Are you entry level? Are you mid-level? Are you a director or are you manager? Are you a C-suite level person? When it comes to your hobbies, okay, do you like birds like me? Or do you like dogs? Or do you like to organize Facebook groups where people can have community? What do you do with your hobbies? Your financial situation? Even despite what effort you're putting in, are you low income? Are you middle income? Are you upper income? Are you wealthy? Whatever it may be, whether you are achieving your worldly goals or not, God has placed all of us where we are because that's what he has deemed our ability. Okay? What we have is ordained by God. Okay? So within our own ability, the question that you need to ask is this: if Jesus returned right now, let's say right now, in the middle of this sermon, and he looks at my life and how I'm living my life, am I managing all these different things well? Am I managing the talents he's given me well? Why is this the question that you need to ask yourself? Why is that important? Why is that the number one question to ask, of whether I'm managing what Jesus has given me well? Because in Matthew 25:19, the same chapter, the same passage about the parable of the talents, Jesus says that the man who went on the journey he also returns from the journey. He comes back to settle accounts with the servants who he's given talents to. And the servants who manage their talents well, they are given more. And they're permitted to enter into their master's joy. In Matthew 24:23, you'll find that. But, get this, the servants that do not manage their talents well, the servants that don't manage what God and Jesus, what they've given us well. These servants, they'll not only be taken away and kicked out of the presence of Jesus, they will be called wicked. They will be called lazy. They will not be able to enter his joy. And this is Jesus saying this. This is not me. And guess where they'll go? They'll go to a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth. You find that in Matthew 24, verse 26 to 30. Do you want to be in a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth? I don't. So I'm pretty sure you don't either. I don't think anybody does. So why would we want to be a servant who is called wicked and lazy? Why not be the one who is managing well everything that the Lord has given us? So what this means for us is very simple, okay? Take a look at every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your jobs, to your family, to your financial situation, to your hobbies, to your interests. Look at every area of your life and do your best for the glory of God and multiply what he has given you. Doing your best, though, here's a very, 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 very important thing. Doing your best is not the purpose of it is not to get a promotion at work. All right, managing your job well, the purpose of it is not to get the next salary increase. That's not the purpose of it. Jesus says nothing about that here. Okay, the purpose of managing your finances well, it's not so that you can get a better lifestyle, drive nicer cars, and have a bigger home. All of that is a result of being a faithful steward that God can bless you with. Okay, I'm not saying that God can't bless us with those things, but that's not the purpose. We have to remind ourselves that the purpose of these things, it's about being received by Jesus when he returns. When Jesus returns, being received by him as a faithful servant rather than a wicked one, rather than a lazy one, and to be able to enter into his joy rather than be left in the dark where we're going to be weeping and gnashing our teeth. That's the purpose of being a faithful steward of God. So therefore, since we do not know when Jesus is going to return, but rather that his return is going to be like a thief in the night at an hour that we cannot expect, the only thing that we can do practically is to remain ready. And that doesn't mean that you are going to literally stay up all night, cause yourself to become an insomniac and never sleep because you're waiting for Jesus in the night because it says he's coming in the night like a thief. That's not what it means. That is not what you should be doing, okay? But what it means that if he does return right now, tomorrow, next week, while you're at your job in your office, while you're outside working on your hobbies and your interests, if he takes an account of everything that we've done with what he's given us, that we may be found a faithful servant rather than a wicked and lazy servant. That's what we can do. So may the Lord help us be ready for him. I hope you enjoyed this sermon. It's a lot to think about because you really do need to take into account every area of your life because Jesus will. That's not me. I have to take account every area of my life. All right. So I hope that this second part of this sermon is helpful for you after watching part one, because this gives you a whole picture of that Jesus is going to return at any time. He could return right now while I'm recording this video. He hasn't, but he could. And he's going to look at everything that I've done in my life. And I want to be faithful. I want to be counted faithful. And of course, people come and mow the lawn while I'm recording. This happens every single week. But I hope you can hear me right now. Be found a faithful servant of the Lord, not a wicked and lazy one. Hope you enjoy this. If you haven't watched part one, go watch that. Thank you for watching this video. For those who are new here, you can consider subscribing by taking a look at a few of my videos. And if you watch a few of my videos and you vet my content and you think that it's valuable and useful for you, and most importantly, biblically sound, then you can subscribe. Why? Because eventually one day I want to be doing this full time. I want to be doing preaching online full time. I think that there's a lot of noise online, and I want to contribute to the side of Christian sermon content that is biblically accurate. And in order for me to do that, I need to be financially sustainable, just practically. And I want to steward well what I'm doing. If it's the Lord's will, it's the Lord's will. If it's not, It doesn't matter. Whatever. Subscribe or not, that's up to you. If you're returning, thank you for watching these videos. I've increased like 10, 15, 20 subscribers as of probably this video. So thank you for everyone that's new. I appreciate that you spend this time watching, and I really genuinely hope that when you watch this content, you are learning biblical ways in which you're not just a listener of the word, but you are a doer of the word, that you're living your life as a Christian who is genuinely following Jesus, and not as a cultural Christian who just says, I'm Christian, but I don't really want to follow some of the things Jesus says because it's too difficult. Christianity is not easy, but I pray that these videos, they'll help you, show you that this really is the only way. And this is the way that leads to life. So thank you for watching. For those that are new, welcome. For those that are returning, thank you. Love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Leave any comments below. I don't know what you guys are going to comment, but leave any if you do have any. Peace.